Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Quick look here at Filecoin, seeing what's going on. Got a lot of requests for this one here, so thank you, Sonny, and a few other people who've asked for me to go ahead and cover this. Greatly appreciate it. We're going to take a look at some other back-end data here too as well, kind of see what's going on. Quick congrats as well to our community here for some awesome swing trades here recently. Took some nice profit on Atom, 47% in 6 days. Same thing with Procoin, 20% in 3 days. So nice little swing trades there, and actually that does exclude, I mentioned this too, all the long positions here we have with our scalping bot. BNB, ADA, Link, ETH, Solana, XRP, Solana. The list goes on. Congrats again, folks, to some phenomenal profits here today. Really, really good day for us. So taking a look here at Filecoin, what do we want to talk about? Well, first things first, we'll jump into the backend data. I want to discuss some key level resistances for us as well. We've got a decent amount of liquidation here. So we got as low as $4.82 for a heavy concentration liquidation. Second most heavy, but also very close, is about $6.60, and then upper range at about $8.70. Okay, so $6.60 to $8.70, we are close to that $8.70 range, so it would make sense for us to see one last liquidity sweep to the upside. And let me explain why. First of all, we see this most recent liquidity sweep here when the price wicked up to break through that resistance level at about 848, roughly 850, and then we since have swept that. Okay, so keep in mind we've swept that level. Price action is pulling back down to this ascending trend line, kind of testing that trend line, if you will, right? This test is not really great. It's more bearish in the sense because we have already tested this level multiple times and have never broken through. Now we've officially broken through and above, and it's just not really the cleanest. This in combination with Bitcoin doing really well, and it would make sense for Filecoin to pull back. Again, a lot of different scenarios here, of course, in play, but the reason why I think we might actually have a scenario here in place with resistances is we zoom in a little bit here. We look at our previous week closes. This is going to be, take a little bit here. We can see we've got a weekly closure here where the price action couldn't surpass that level within a week at $8.50. Okay, price picked up above that, yes, but we still have yet to close above that on the weekly or daily. Okay, so at this point, $8.50 is that point of contention. Until we close above that level, I would say a short would maybe make a little bit more sense. And we're going to look at some other things too to make sure that's worthwhile. I don't just say short because we're at a resistance. It's not what you do. What you do is you look at a lot of different things here, make sure you understand. So weekly time frame, let's quickly note a couple of things here. Okay, so weekly time frame, we can kind of see here that we are testing 70 on RSI, somewhat of resistance. We got stochastic swinging up, MACD converging. So these are all bullish signs, folks. So I do not want to, by any stretch, get you in the thought process of we're trying to short. We can also see here upper liquidity levels here, about 950, reflected on the charts from previous months, basically back in February 2023. That's not going to show here, but we can see $9 as a rough estimate as another concentration of liquidation. So again, an entry at $9.50, $9 might be appropriate for a short position, right? Again, just a thought process there, just thinking outside the box here. Please, please, please don't walk away from this. Oh, Cash told me to short. I'm going to blame this on him if it doesn't work. You know how stupid that is? This is your trade. You do it. You do what you want to do with it, okay? I'm simply giving you some advice, things that I like to look for. And again, we're statistically very successful. Just a quick friendly reminder, 96% accuracy last month. So far this month, we are roughly the same. In fact, I think we've only had one stop loss this month, and we had a good 20 to 30 positive trades, okay? So again, there's a reason why that works out, because we're patient, really. Low leverage, low position size is king. Trust me on this. You'll learn it eventually. That following a bunch of other Twitter folk there that constantly riding the lightning by taking some crazy calls with high leverage. It'll work once in a while, but it won't work all the time. I'm all about consistency. So how do we find consistency here? Well, let's double check a few things. We're above RSI at 70, so that's all more reason not to consider a short. We can see stochastic RSI swinging down. However, money flow index pulling back. MACD trying to pull back, but hasn't yet. So these are not bearish signs by any stretch, but they're not bullish signs either. Okay, it doesn't tell us the price is just going to leg up and take off from here. What is likely is to see that 950 mark swept. So what I'm going to do, just as a kind of a thought process here, is to essentially set an alert. If the price crosses that level, it might be a good consideration to consider either a short or perhaps even a long, depending on the scenario, right? You don't just blindly jump into a trade because you set an alert days ago. I'm going to reevaluate the time, right? But 950, that's that upper liquidity level that we're talking about between 9 and 950. So if the price does sweep up one more time, again, that may be a good consideration for a short. But between now and then, everything's looking pretty solid. We got, well, albeit overextended on the daily, we're consolidating sideways here, getting a reset. So we really have no consideration to short into this because it's not overextended. We spent 5 days in the same exact range. The thing we got to recognize though is that we are above all moving averages and we're still mostly bullish on the daily. Okay, 4-hour time frames shifting gears. Okay, we're underneath the 20-day SMA and sort of losing this trend line. So that leads me to believe we could see a pullback of sorts. It's not going to be massive, but it could very well be down these next Fibonacci retracement levels. We could take a look at Elliott Wave and kind of summarize it. We might be at our top level here, and we're seeing an ABC pattern forming, right? If we take a look here, though, we are at 50 on the RSI. Money flow index is high, stochastic swinging up. So this tells us that we got a decent amount of money flowing into this coin in the last few days of trading, and that we shouldn't consider shorting because of that. But the thing I want to point out, though, is if we drop below 50 on the RSI, that might be a good consideration that we've lost this momentous trend here, the initial momentous trend, right? And again, what I'm referring to here is this more recent trend from Friday to February 16th. That's 10 days ago. The price has been literally higher highs and higher lows. We're now establishing potential parallel lows and parallel highs. So a lot of times when you see that, prices will pull back. Again, it does hinge on Bitcoin's success or lack thereof, depending on where we're at. But at this point, Bitcoin's proven to be quite solid and more likely to increase than decrease. So all that having said, what do we look at the hourly here? Well, let's confirm a couple of things. First of all, Ichimoku Cloud not confirming a buy signal at all. In fact, it's confirming more so bearish qualities. While this isn't definitive, it is a 3 out of 3 reasons to consider a short over a long position. Lagging spans intersecting with the price action within maybe about 6 to 10 hours. Right now, free and clear. Conversion lines below the baseline, below the cloud. We've lost a lot of these key levels here to let us know that this initial uptrend is discontinuing. So we got this in combination with testing 50 on the RSI. I'd say if we lose 50 on the RSI and we start expecting Bitcoin to pull back a little bit, Filecoin will probably do the same. The only thing that's kind of a caveat here is this little upper wick where the price shoots up to this $9.50 range. That would be a consideration for obviously invalidating this here. But if the price doesn't break through this upper level here at about 850 or lower, then we're going to probably see the price action continue sideways and down. It just makes a lot more sense for the price to pull back based on the overall scenario here, because again, we're significantly in an uptrend here, and the truth is, if this is the top, whether or not this is a 3 or a 5 for our Elliott Wave, a pullback would make a lot more sense, all things considered here. Okay, now again, Elliott Wave, you don't trust this in every scenario, right? It doesn't always happen. But for the most part, you will see the price action come down, and if the price action pulls back to lower than $5, this is invalidated. But generally speaking, it would be pretty safe to presume that if this is the top, we're going to see the price pull back to some lower levels here. It might be 775, might be 720. It may even be as low as 650. But to me personally, this coin looks like it's shifting gears and it's something to pay attention to. So if you're going to consider a short, I would recommend being careful, obviously, because you don't want to short the market much at all right now. But this is one of the few coins that's underperforming, and there's a reason for it because it's massively overextended going to this push. There's a reason why the price isn't shooting up right now with everything else, because it's already done so in the past. Okay, that leads me to believe the price shouldn't continue to explode. If Bitcoin maintains its current price action where it's at, there's a solid chance it will continue higher. But once more, different strokes for different folks. So to me personally, I would say at this point, wait a little bit longer for confirmation. If we close below the cloud, just say sometime here today, that might be a consideration for a short. Once more, we've spent some decent time here. We cannot break this upper volume profile at about $8.20, then there's a strong chance the price will continue lower. Okay. So again, at this point, we're shifting bearish, but we're not quite there yet. Once more, patience is key, folks. The price does come up to this $8.50 to $9 range. That would be a solid consideration to possibly consider shorting, but again, we want to reevaluate when you get there. Don't just blindly jump in. Okay. But the truth is, if you have a long position over with Filecoin, you should have closed it by now and profit. That's really what it boils down to. Okay, so hope that makes sense. I described that correctly. Thanks again for watching. Oh, also make sure Filecoin is available on Bitunix here very soon. If not already, they're adding trading pairs as we speak to the exchange. No KYC or VPN link down below. Use my link to register. You get some significant benefit rewards. Highly recommend you check them out, folks. They're a really awesome exchange. Thank you, Bitunix, and thank you as well for liking, subscribing, following, and just supporting the channel. Deeply appreciate it. You're all awesome. Look forward to seeing the next one. Take care.